The Peanut Gallery and the hecklers have been very thrilled by the First Lady and the White House's reaction to attempts to roll back the school lunch nutrition guidelines, which were three enormously prestigious, long-standing scientific boards, including the Institute of Medicine, and I can't remember the other two, that this was a huge fight of the White House's to get more reimbursement for school lunch and to tighten up the standards, get more fruit and vegetables, reduce sodium. And what was it about fats? Was it trans fat? What was
Well, there's limits on how much fat you can have.
So limit on overall fat intake. And so in the new agriculture appropriations markup starting in mid-May, and the publicity broke around the 20th and 21st of May, the School Nutrition Association, the longtime trade association of people who make school meals, which had strongly supported your standards, right? And, well, they'd supported it.
They'd supported it.
Let's say that. They'd supported it. Suddenly we're coming out in favor of waivers because if there had been 6 consecutive months of losses at a school, the school program, the lunch program directors were saying, this is too hard for us to make work. It's kind of restraint of trade in this funny way. We can't do this anymore. You have to let us roll these back and look at the amount of fruits and vegetables that are going straight into the wastebasket. It's too hard. It was unrealistic. It was too much too soon. And so just roll it right back. And the White House said no. And it was really the First Lady who took, I think, the strongest stand I'd ever seen her take in public. On the New York Times op-ed page, saying, are we going to let industry tell us how to feed our kids and what to do about the future health of our kids? No, they mean more to us than that. That's too important. So what's the state of these activities? You brought together lots of advocates. You've been working incredibly hard on this. Where is it now?
I've done very little over the last couple months, but work on this. I think the reaction that you saw from the First Lady, was a direct result of what's really at stake. And, ensuring that our kids are getting the nourishment they need in schools is just fundamental to their future. It's fundamental to the future of the country. And we had made tremendous progress in this bill, which got bipartisan support, unanimous support in the Senate, and a huge coalition that helped us see it through. Which accomplished a few core things. It accomplished lots of things, but the big things were make sure you actually have to serve a fruit or vegetable. You can't just say, hey kid, you want some green beans. You actually have to serve them, and we know very well that consumption goes way up when they're actually served. Made sure that the standards in the lunch were raised significantly for the first time in 15 years and increased money for the first time in 30, as you mentioned. And also got rid of junk food in schools. So set standards on vending machines and a la carte lines for the first time ever. They just had never been there before. Additionally, in part of another part of the rule which allows schools or mandates that schools have to set wellness policies for each school. They can come up with what they want within a sort of set of parameters. In that is also saying that you can't market junk food to kids in our schools. So this is big, big stuff, and one that we're just implementing now. We're in our second year of the lunch. The healthy snack food rule comes in this fall.
And if I may say so, it might be the lasting legacy of the work you've done.
Yeah, it's transformative change. There's no question about it. I think a couple years ago in Approps, they ran a play where they were able to push through counting pizza as a vegetable. The sauce in pizza is now counted as a vegetable, and it's true.
You all remember ketchup?
Yeah, it came back. Now, we were able to make sure we increased the amount of vegetables that had to be served in the overall meal, so ultimately impact was mitigated, but it's preposterous. And the potato guys are good friends. Also worked through Approach to make sure there was no limit on how many French fries you could serve in a given week, which was in the original proposal. So they tried to do they tried to do that play again, and there are some companies that stand to lose a lot from particularly the healthy snack food rule. And this work is hard. It's big change, but we've seen 90% of schools meet the new standards. We're seeing in school districts that have really taken this on, from a little district in Georgia, the head nutritionist, Donna, is an amazing woman who overhauled everything, got rid of fried chicken, and she's like, you know how hard it is to get rid of fried chicken in Georgia? She's like, if I can do that in Georgia, you can do whatever else you need to do anywhere. And changed the food, and her kids were malnourished. So what we have to remember is that hunger is a huge part of school. It's the biggest child hunger program that we have. A huge percentage of kids are getting all, if not the majority of their calories in school. So we have...
Sam has not endorsed this book. There's a book called Free for All by Janet Poppendieck, which is the history of the school lunch program, and it's about hunger.
Her kids, she changed that. She overhauled everything, made the food much better, started serving an after-school feeding program as well. And their kids, for the first time, won the state championship in football. And the coach credited the entire victory to her. Like, what's at stake for these kids is tremendous. We're seeing success from big districts in LA. Who's seeing revenue up, participation up, test scores up, graduation rates are coming up because kids are coming to school. Attendance is up. We're seeing success all over the country. West Virginia has done this years ago. They saw the IOM, that was the basis of what we did the rule. They instituted this across the whole state years ago, and are seeing just tremendous increase in all those outcomes as well. So it's quite disheartening to see that we're going to allow politics and industry interests try to come before our kids and before what science is telling us what's best for them. So that's what the fight is really about. And right now, I think people are really realizing this is not the way to go. Large parts of even School Nutrition Association's own membership have come out to say we don't support this path.
19 past presidents signed a letter saying we don't support this.
Yeah, which is a lot. You're seeing a massive coalition that was built. So the School Nutrition Association represents the nutrition directors, but the people who are actually serving the food, represented by the NEA, they are fully in support of seeing this through. The thing that isn't being talked about enough is that the attempt here was actually hit a pause button before all this, the rest was implemented, and then reauthorization for the whole law is coming up starting now. The first hearing was a few weeks ago. And the hope is to roll all this back. So to get rid of basically the healthy snack food rule, to say you don't have to serve a vegetable, you just have to have one there available if a kid wants one. Like, what kid is gonna, come on, right? So that's really the play. So this is gonna be a long-term fight. This is not going away. I think we're in pretty good shape right now, but we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay loud. Members on the Hill need to know where we stand and ensure that we're not seeing the best interests of our kids undermined here.
So for